Put it in the bag, right there. Yes. Any more? Huh? No more. No more. Okay. You have to work for dinner now. So making dinner for the kids. We're doing spaghetti and meatballs. So we're really doing a tricolor rotini, but to them it's spaghetti and meatballs. So I'm not gonna argue it. Very simple. I get my meatballs pre-rolled and spiced and everything from Stop and Shop, the grocery store, from their deli, from their meat section, and then linguine pasta, some pasta sauce, 3 cheese, and I just throw some olive oil. First of all, I use the Olivio butter to kind of like start to grill up the meatballs, get them kind of browned up. Once they're brown, I add the olive oil, so start to really get cooking. Then when it even gets a little bit more brown, then I add the pasta sauce, and now it's in a simmer. So it just simmers way through, so the sauce cooks through the meat. The meat is tender. So when I put everything together, the pasta into the sauce and serve it to them, it's one consistent flavor, and they like that. I have kids here who are weird about textures and mixed tastes. I'm kind of the same way, so it's all good. But yeah, that life making dinner. And the great thing about this is, I'm on my health kick. But what I do is I tend to get most of my carbs on the weekends when they're with me, and I try to stay as much into more hardcore proteins during the week, so I can maintain my homeostasis. And so far it's been working. I'm down to the lowest I've been, since high school, 187 right now, which is strange because high school was well over 30 years ago. I spent the majority of my adulthood 250 and above. So yeah, this is how we cook for our kids and how we make sure they have healthy foods. All right, let me get back to this. Not sure if I'm able to get the actual focus into the pan. Plus, I don't want to get the heat too close to my lens either. But I don't know what you're seeing right now. When I edit, I'll see whether or not it was completely a blur or whether you got to see the delicious, saucy redness. It's more like an orangey color because of the cheese with the meatballs. So now I'm just boiling my water for the rotini. And next thing you're gonna see is when the food is done and plated. There we go. Spaghetti and meatballs, but really rotini and meatballs. The tricolor, green, red, and pasta color. Meatballs, tomato sauce, very simple. If you're starving, you want to let this sit for a little bit longer. Then let it sit for a little bit longer to cool. And we're off to the races. Good morning, guys. Uche Joku. Why do I do that? I always start off by saying my name. You know what my name is. It's all good. So it's morning time, and you hear behind me the kiddies watching their YouTube kids show. So I can set up the kitchen to make some breakfast. Where do I even start? Yesterday dinner was a hit. Everybody ate, bellies full, went to bed. And I'll tell you right now, there's something to be said about making sure your kids go to bed with a full stomach. Not like a like so stuffed that they can barely breathe, perpetuate obesity in the long run, like was done to us when we were kids, when we were told you must finish every drop of your plate. My thing is, I know my kids, my daughter will eat, she will eat until she is good. When she says she's good, you know she's good. She is a good eater. The little man's a whole nother story. From the first, before he has a bite, he's going to tell you, this is yucky. And I'm like, bro, you haven't even tried it. How is it yucky if you haven't even tasted it? I know it's yucky that he does this, which kind of means now he knows that he does that. That means daddy or even mommy will feed him. And once you get him going, then from that point on, he's good. You know, he actually finished his bowl, which was pretty cool. He's a little underweight, trying to get him bulked up. But at the same time, I'm not gonna stuff him to the point where it's like you must finish your food. No, he has to eat enough because I gauge how much he eats throughout the day to know that okay, he is satiated. Because if you don't do that with him, he'll come back to you not long after saying, "Daddy, I'm hungry," which I'm always good with. But however, you know, we want to make sure that he understands. Like this is how much you have to eat, so you won't be going through hunger throughout the day. Especially when he gets to school. There's so many times I pick up from school and he is ravenous. Like he will tell you he's hungry, and you know, he's at that age right now where he's growing, and I'm trying to make sure that man is taller than me because God knows that there's no reason for me to have a 6'3" wingspan and only be barely 5'9". Nah, the devil's a liar. My son's going to maximize his wingspan and height. I mean, at least that's the urban myth. Hopefully, I don't know if it's an urban myth, but that's what we're told. Your height has a correlation to your wingspan. But this morning for breakfast, they made a request yesterday. They wanted tomato soup and grilled cheese. So I'm like, okay, I can do that. So I'm gonna get some Campbell's tomato soup, doctor up a little bit, yummify it. The tomato soup by itself is kind of like, but I'm gonna yummify it and do some grilled cheese on sourdough bread. But yeah, that's the plan for breakfast this morning. But before I can do that, I gotta make sure I clean up the kitchen so I have a clean space to work with. That's one of the things I thank my father for growing up. My father was so big about kitchen being clean. Man, you would think like it might be part of his upbringing in Nigeria, but I also think a big part of it is also his time in the military. Anybody who's spent any time in the military, you know that cleanliness is next to not godliness. Cleanliness is discipline, and I might not be the most organized person in life, but cleanliness is something I do. That I did take from my father that I still hold on to this day. Making sure that spaces are at minimum, clean, organized. I am missing a straw. I'll find it. Let me fade down the wash cycle. But yeah. So I gotta make sure all this is nice and clean. Putting things away. Emptying the dishwasher. One of these days, in the near future, they will be doing this. They got time. I'm letting them know to just enjoy things right now. Because soon enough, you will find yourself in here. Clean up after yourselves. Huh, I'm missing a straw for one of these cups. I don't know. I know I washed it. No, no pop up. If not, I have extra cups that I can use to make sure. I mean, these silver cups are so valuable. I mean, even though they're really good with usually the cups, but especially when you have light colored furniture and carpets, you want to minimize the risk of spills as much as possible. Um, because I'm a believer, just because you have kids doesn't mean that you have to, pick drabby furniture. If you have, giving your kids that can't have good things. That's a lot. Found it. Doesn't mean you have to have drabby furniture. I like colored furniture. Before getting betrothed and all that stuff, I had white leather couches. It wasn't on some like 80s Scarface type stuff. I believe like light colors bounce light. Being a photographer and a manipulator of light, the lighter the space is, the brighter it is, the lighter the energy. Versus having a dark space where you allow depressive energy to seep through, because dark spaces encourage dark energy. That's what I believe. So with that being said, I like white tablecloths. I love leather foam rugs. Anything that allows for light to bounce off, I am a fan of. So with that being said, I like to make sure that that my energy, my space flows with my energy. And so I did start making grilled cheese this morning. So yeah, so I want to make sure I put the dirty dish into the dishwasher. And I got set up for. I run my dishwasher, maybe once every couple of days. When I have basic stuff to wash, I will hand wash them. When I have things a little bit more, maybe I cooked a big meal and I have way more dishes, or I had a busy ass week, so I wasn't able to keep track of washing dishes. Then what I do is I just stack them in here so that I can just do it in one shot. Turn it over before I go to work. Guys, way too loud. Musa, Okay. Then I can just throw it all earlier, and I can just throw in the washer before I go to work. And by the time I come home, I clean dishes. But it has to be a full dishwasher. It can't just be like, a handful of dishes in here. Because that don't make any sense, because we're not wasting. I don't pay for water, but I do pay for electricity, so gotta make sure that I'm maximizing the wash. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this, and I know most of you all didn't care what I'm talking about. This is also part of me documenting for them, so that maybe one day they'll find these videos and be like, oh, that's that. And then that's us in the background, standing on the couch. I stand right in front of the TV watching. Yes, stand on the couch. Yeah, the number of times I gotta tell them, get off the couch. But I won't lie. When I was his age, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to jump on the couch. I wanted to stand on stuff. The only difference is that when I was a kid, I would have gotten my butt whooped tremendously, horribly for doing stuff like that. But I'm in the stage in life right now where, I believe kids should be allowed to be kids with safe boundaries. But nobody died from my stomach. I'm standing on the couch. I just hope not. All right, I'm gonna finish washing out this pan that I'm gonna use for the grilled cheese, and I'll catch with y'all later. All right, it's time to make the grilled cheese, and very, very simple, and the tomato soup. So the base for the tomato soup is going to be Campbell's tomato soup, and I'm going to warm that up, and and just kind of like play with it for taste. But you know, try not to put too much. I mean, it's already. I mean, it already has a lot of sodium in it, so I'm not gonna play as much with the sodium. But just maybe add some cheese or something to it, just to make it a little bit more tasty and not so tomatoey. And then of course, sourdough sliced panini bread, and then my favorite Olivio butter made from olive oil, and of course, classic Kraft Singles cheese, the grilled cheese. So this is kind of like restaurant style grilled cheese making. Then I'm gonna do everything. I'm debating whether to do it all on a pan or to do it in the oven. I think we'll do it in the oven. Yeah, I'm gonna do it in the oven. I think that's just, to me, this, I like, the pan sometimes gets a little tricky for me. Because I don't have I have stainless steel pans. I don't have a Teflon pan. Maybe with a Teflon, you know, it's not the best, but I have my baking pan over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up all, I'm probably going to do like 3 sandwiches. I'm going to do 3 sandwiches, then, and cut them in triangles so if they want more, I can just give them another half. And then butter it up, throw it in the oven, let it do its thing, and then flip it while it's in the oven, and then just make the soup while it's, you know, while it's doing its thing in the oven. So yeah, I know this is kind of backwards. People are like, why don't you do it on top of the pan? But you'll see. So let me go ahead and start with the butter on the bread. So get the edges, cover it up. The oven is heating up to 450, so I'm good in that regards. Put stuff away. I'm one of those people like literally once it's done, just put it away. Why keep it out? Yeah, I'm weird with the kitchen. I'll tell you this right now. I'm one of the worst people because I don't even do good with why is this tracking? Huh. Okay. I'm gonna hit something on my camera, but right now it's tracking me, which is kind of cool, but it's not. So for those of you who don't know, okay. So I'm recording right now with the the ZVE1, which is a full frame cinematic-ish camera from Sony, and there's all these buttons. So right now, I think I hit a button on top that now has the camera tracking me. So which is kind of cool. Tell me what you think about that. But my previous shots just had me being recorded stagnant frame. So right now, if you notice, when I move this way, I move that way, it should be following me. I think, yeah, you know. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this right now, but it is what it is. This is all part of the process and journey of documenting things, right? So okay, now the bread is good to go, and now the tomato soup. I just grab a saucepan that I can use. I'm gonna use this one right here. And what I'm gonna do with my tomato soup is this. I'm going to use the Campbell soup, of course, but then also I'm gonna add some bone broth in there. Add some protein in there, which is good for our little ones. Just making sure they get as many other nutrients as possible. And then once it's all nice and simmering, I'll add a sprinkle of Mexican pork cheese in there. But right now, rinse out the pan. Always rinse out your pan, people. I know you washed it, but just make sure you get a nice rinse out. And the cool thing about this is one of those microwavable soups, so it's already good to go out of the can. I've made soup before, to make soup on my own, and it was pretty good, but it's usually hit or miss. and I don't feel like missing this today. So. Okay. Yeah. I'm a wiper. Once things splash, I need to wipe them off immediately. But now I'm just gonna add half of this bone ball. I don't like it. There's the tomato out. So this is just organic bone broth I got from Stop and Shop, the neighborhood grocery store in this area. And I'm gonna let it do this thing. Once it comes to a boil, I'm just gonna let it go down to the center and just let it simmer. My son is like, nope, I don't want tomato soup. My daughter's like, yes, I want tomato soup. So I told my son, guess what? You're gonna have tomato soup. And he's like, yo, yucky, I don't want it. But then guess what? I'm like, yes, to use yucky, but Dad's gonna feed you. And every time I feed him, he eats it. Like it's like, and he does a thumbs up, this is yummy. I'm like, okay, I see what it is. You like being pampered and catered to. But it's okay. You know, kids, they want that connection, that, you know, that space of being like, you see me. But I'll tell you this right now, I don't remember my father ever feeding me. I know I take that back. I do have vague memories, but it's because I was being forced to eat. It was like, because I have to feed you, you will finish every drop on this plate. So it was like crazy. But it's funny because how in time, and I'm not blaming him, it is life. Because I got older and obesity became part of my existence. I wonder how much of my brain being all about finishing your plate and not leaving a morsel on the plate became part of my misfunction or dysfunction with food. And I still have it. You know, I have a tendency to, like, I gotta finish this, or if I ordered it, I gotta eat it all. And now I'm learning to, okay, go through the pains of throwing food out or leaving the food there in the restaurant, so that next time when I order smaller portions and say, okay, if I wasn't satisfied, I can order more versus just ordering 3 or 4 or 5 things. I used to do that. I used to order like 3 or 4 entrees in one sitting, and thinking like it was a great thing to do. And now I look back and say, how much damage did I do to my body and my health? And where was I mentally that I had to gorge myself with food like an addict? So yeah, so I'm very cautious of what I do now. So now even when I feed them, do I always want to feed you, Musa? I'm talking to you. If you're watching this video, years from now, no, I won't be honest, no. But did I love doing it? Yeah. Because as soon as I sat down with you and started feeding you, I got to watch you eat. I got to watch you, you know, do your thing. Your sister doesn't want to be fed. She wants to do it herself. But sitting there with you and her, even though I was feeding you, I was watching both of you. And it's precious times. Precious times. But yeah, so right now, waiting for the oven to get to 450. I'm going to do this at like 5 minutes one side, 5 minutes another side. And then depending how brown it is, I might do another 5 and 5. But of course, I don't want the cheese to dry out. But I still want it to be a little cheesy, a little greasy. You know when you have good grilled cheese and you can, you know, it's just like, you know, I wanted to have that. So, like I said, I'm gonna cut this into triangles. I was going to do 3, then I'm like, no, this is a lot. So I'm gonna cut this into triangles or maybe small squares, and then serve it with the soup. Serve it with the soup. All right, let me come back to you shortly. So the soup, it's been plated, some cheese in there, and presentation. So check this out. One of the things I could say about my father that I always thought was very interesting. For all the things, he was just a man of contradictions. But one thing I can say he was really good at was food presentation. It didn't matter what it was. If it was rice and stew, or it was plantains and eggs, everything was presented in a way that was almost restaurant quality, which most made me wonder whether or not he had a underlying dream of being a chef or a restaurateur. The man can cook. Like, he would take stuff that you would just be like, who thinks of sardines? Who takes sardines, an onion, 3 eggs, and like one like super wrapped banana about to be dead? Like not banana, plantain. The plantain is like damn near black, and he would chef it up, and before you knew it, you're sitting there like, what the heck? And he would literally take 3 fish and okay. He would literally take 3 fish and 5 loaves and turn it into a banquet. Never understood it. Never made sense to me. But he was just good in the kitchen. And presentation was everything. You never saw him just throw stuff on a plate and eat. No. Everything was a certain way. The rice with the stew on top with the 2 pieces of meat was just fashioned in a way where if you went to a restaurant, you'd be like, that looks like how my dad would serve it. That was his skills. And I think it's kind of like transferred to me and my siblings. I think we look at food the same way. This presentation is a big thing. And so that's the soup right there. I played it early because I wanted it to cool down. So it was almost, I didn't want it to be hot. So let it be a little bit more room temperature. Because the grilled cheese and stuff is going to be much warmer. And the grilled cheese, I'm sure you can't see the angle wise, but grilled cheese right now, it's what it looks like right now. So it's getting brown. Musa, be careful.
I don't know how to orange. I don't know how to yellow and yellow.
To make orange?
No, how to spell yellow and green.
Yellow, Y-E-L-L-O-W is yellow. Green is G-R-E-E-N. So, chef and teacher, you know, he wants to know how to spell orange and green because my son in kindergarten, who's 4.5, is a reader and a writer. And he will ask you, how you spell this? And I love it because while most kids are out there still trying to figure out their number sense and figure out the alphabet, this one over here is asking me, how do you spell this again? And that's what he does, you know, and I think it's amazing. This for 3 minutes. So I did 3 minutes on one side first, then I did 5 minutes on the other side. So I'm going to do another 3 minutes. Because at this point in time, I'll show you one more time. I flipped it. See that golden brown? This is what I want it to be like. So I'm going to do the other side for just. I'll put it for 3 minutes, but it might be less than that. Then I'm going to get it out and cut it, and it's ready to go. The most important thing is I don't want the cheese to dry out because then it's This is just grilled cheese and tomato soup, and look at all the effort I'm going into for this. But listen, one of my favorite memories is my mother sitting there watching us eat. As a child, she would cook and she would sit there and watch us eat. And I used to think that she was watching us eat to make sure we eat our food, but I didn't realize. I realize now it was her saying, "My reward is your satisfaction with what I've made for you." And I'm the same way now in everything that I do. And whether it's food, whether it's in programs we do at my school, or what I do for other people, my reward is seeing how people feel when I give them or when I do something for them. And I feel the same way with my kids. So I gotta make sure that this is yummy. Like, that's the most important thing for me. It cannot be, well, this is the only food in the house, you gotta eat this. Even though I say that sometimes, because you can't break away from your childhood experiences. Indigo, oh my goodness. I-N-G. No. I-N-D-I-G-O. Indigo. I've never had to spell that word before. I probably just probably embarrass myself. That's my daughter. How you spell indigo? I N D I G O. Indigo. Let's see. So here it is. Nice, crispy, golden grilled cheese sandwiches. So what I'm gonna do is I was gonna do triangles, but I'm just gonna do squares. Recording and parenting and multitasking is not easy. So right now, I'm cutting these into rectangles so they can handle it. And I'm just gonna start off with these 4 squares first. Presentation is everything. That right there. And soup. And if you want more, they let me know. So I don't want to put the cameras in your face, but trust me, you're enjoying it. I had to take a taste of it because I was like, yo, they're enjoying this way too much. So I had a bite. The grilled cheeses, tomato soup. Surprisingly, they weren't a fan of the cheese in the tomato soup, so they just wanted tomato soup. We'll thump it. Kids love cheese, but yeah. I'm glad to have shared with you this moment this morning of me preparing breakfast for my kids, and kind of like sharing some memories of my childhood as well. And I know that Musa, Nunu, Musa, both of you are one day gonna come back to this video and be able to see the moment when you were 6 and 4.5, and Daddy, made breakfast and was feeding you. And then you got to hear a little bit of stories about Grandma and Grandpa as well. They had a big hand in shaping who I am today and my worldview. Those that were developed because of positivity and those that were developed because of negativity. Everything we go through is there to shape us and have us ready for the world. So, yeah, Joku. Hope you enjoyed. Technically, this is going to be combined with me making dinner last night as well. Hope you enjoyed this whole extended video of me creating for my kids. All right, y'all, be well.